Okay, this time for stringing, we're not using the stringing posts. We're going to use these Matterhacker stringing cubes. I'll put a link in the description to this site that explains how they optimize stringing parameters. To download this project, you're going to have to get a Matterhackers account, but that's free, so don't worry about it. So they recommend changing one thing at a time. So we already know we have stringing, so I'm going to change one thing before I get this, because we already have some retraction. So perhaps this retraction parameters need to be updated. One thing we are going to change is the XY movement speed. That'll help reduce stringing. If you move faster, there's less chance to drip. So the default is 4200. We're going to go to 7200, which we've used for the PETG. And that's twice as fast as we print. We also changed the infill to 20%. We don't need a high infill for this project. So, all right, so we'll try that. And I think it takes 17 minutes, 16 minutes. Okay, because we're moving faster, yeah. So we'll try this project. We'll switch over to the time lapse and see how it goes. And we'll start adjusting anti-stringing parameters.
All right, so I don't see a lot of stringing. There's a string going up to the print head from the last position, but I don't see a lot of stringing here. So maybe it's possible increasing the speed solved all the problems. I kind of doubt it. I think if I printed the Lattice Cube again, I'd get some stringing. Oh, I changed the bed temperature to 25. I'm still getting a lot of adhesion. Oops. Let's look at this cube. So this is the bottom. I don't see a lot of strings on there or even fringing, so this looks pretty good. These will just come off now. Just come off. There's the middle, or one of the middle ones. There it comes. So they look perfect to me. So we're just going to go with a faster speed. That's actually a help because it means our real prints will happen faster. I'm going to try my other. Try the good old faithful. I don't see any stringing or fringing on these at all, so. All right, I think we're good to go. Like I say, I could print the Lattice Cube again, but I don't really want to. That's not the things I'm going to be printing with this, with a lot of spindly poles next to each other. So we could try another stringing test. Well, maybe I'll try that. There's another stringing test I have. This has poles. Let's try that, and we'll just verify that this is a great setting.
All right, so this is a classic stringing test that's on Thingiverse. I'll put a link in the description. And the good thing about it only takes 11 minutes to print. So we set up our same profile we just used for the cubes. And like I said, we changed the speed to 7200, and I changed the bed temperature to 25. It's basically room temperature. So we have plenty of adhesion, that's not a problem. And the print temperature is still 230. So. All right, so we'll give this a shot, and 11 minutes, we'll find out if we have some more if the stringing settings are good, or if we have some more problems.
All right, so this test actually shows some stringing, so maybe we'll use this test instead of the cubes to see what's going on there. So there is some stringing between the towers, as you can see. Quite a bit of stringing, actually. So this is a nice test. It only takes 11 minutes. Doesn't take much material. So we're going to try adjusting the stringing parameters based on this project. I don't think it's going to be a big deal for what we're printing, but I think this is an interesting exercise. So we're going to go ahead and try adjusting the stringing parameters, see if we can dial them in, and that'll help us going forward.
All right, so we're back in Simplify 3D. We're going to change. It says only change one thing at a time, but we're not up to the minimum XY speed that they suggest to use, which is 9,000, which is 150 millimeters per second. We're going to change that. We're also going to change the retraction to 2 millimeters. Oops. So they recommend increasing this by 1 or 0.5 to see if that solves the problem. So we're going to try both of those and just see how it goes. 11 minutes later, we'll know. Actually, it takes 12 minutes now because retraction, if you retract 2 millimeters, it takes extra time apparently. That makes sense.
All right, it's done. Let's check it out. Alright, so this one, let's compare it to the old one. Here's the first one. And this has somewhat less stringing, I would say. The towers, I think, are not as well defined. This one looks like it's got, so I'm thinking the 9,000 speed is probably too much. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to put it back to 7,200. We still got some stringing though, so let's try 3 millimeters of retraction. See if that clears it up. So I would say slightly less stringing over on the new one, but I'm concerned about the way those towers look. So yeah. All right, that's our next test.
All right, we're back in Simplify 3D, and we lowered the movement speed to 7,200. I'm more comfortable with that. I think there was some artifacts on the towers I didn't like. So, and the retraction, we're going to go from 2 to 2.5 instead of 3. I'd rather just approach it slowly rather than have over retract. We're going to try that, and we'll see what happens. Should take 12 minutes.
Alright, I'm not seeing a lot of improvement, so I'm not sure if this is worth my time. But we'll just see what this looks like. Still really good adhesion. A little bit too good, but yeah. Alright, so still getting stringing. And this is the last one. I think I got more stringing on this one than the last one, so no, it's about the same. I think we're just going to go back to 1.0. Let's see, this is number 2. Now number 2 doesn't have the defects in the towers that number 1 had, so I think slowing the XY movement speed down helped. I'm not sure I'm going to spend any more time on this, so I'm going to set it back to 1 and just use the well, I don't know. I guess I'm going to leave it at, well, you know what, I'm just going to try 3, see what happens. Alright, we're going to try 3.
Alright, so we're going to try one more test here. So if I hear, we're going to go to a 3.0 millimeter retraction distance. And retraction vertical lift. I've heard that's good for certain situations. I'm not going to change that now. So, all right, so we'll just go do this one more time. 13 minutes, because it takes longer because we're retracting more. We don't want to clog the print head. If you retract too much, you clog the print head, which is obviously not good. So we'll try this and see what happens.
All right, so I'm not sure this is really working out. There's all sorts of artifacts now on these towers from doing all that retraction. So I'm going to say, since the cubes weren't a problem, we're not going to deal with retraction. So you can see how irregular these towers are compared to the first one. Towers look perfect here. I mean, there's some fringing and stuff in the stringing, but We're not really printing this style of thing. I really have strong towers, and I can deal with the stringing if I need to, but I don't think it's going to be an issue with what we're printing. So, all right, so that's it for testing. I'm going to go back to 1 millimeter retraction. I did lower the bed temperature to 20. It was a little easier to get off there, so I'm going to stick with that. And the print temperature is 230. Now we're going to print something for real, and when I get done, I'll show it to you. Here's the Millennium Falcon Dice Tower in action. You take your dice for your encounter, you drop them in the tower, they come out inside the Falcon. You can see what happened. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is STScI signing out, and keep looking up.